How's it going, everyone? Austin Honecker here. I just wanted to come on here for a while and give them a review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite from tonight, which is July 6th, 2022. I gotta say, it was awesome from start to finish. For the matches, match 1, it was Wardlow versus Scorpio Sky in a street fight for the AEW TNT title. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Wardlow went over and won the AEW TNT title with the Powerbomb Symphony. Match 2, it was Swerve in Our Glory, which are Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland versus The Butcher and The Blade. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Swerve in Our Glory went over cause Swerve Strickland pinned The Blade with the Spirit Bomb Swerve Stomp combination from Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. Now after the match, as Swerve in Our Glory were celebrating their victory, Team Taz, which are Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs, came out, and Powerhouse Hobbs was on the microphone and was talking about how Swerve in Our Glory were pissing him and Ricky Starks off, and talking about how they could have ended Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland's careers and how they've never beaten them and everything. And then Ricky Starks was going on. Then Ricky Starks had got on the microphone and was talking shit and talking about how that they were gonna, how him and Powerhouse Hobbs were gonna kick Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland's ass again and everything. And as Ricky Starks was talking more shit, the Young Bucks, which are Matt and Nick Jackson, came out, and Matt Jackson was on the microphone and was talking about how Swerve in Our Glory and Team Taz were two phenomenal tag teams, and how the tag team division was on fire and everything. And then Nick Jackson got on the microphone and was talking about how he was a better team than how him and Matt Jackson were him and his brother Matt Jackson were a better tag team than FTR and everything. And then that was Nick Jackson that was talking about that, by the way. And Matt Jackson got back on the microphone and was talking about how Swerve in Our Glory and Team Taz faced off against the Jurassic Express at Double or Nothing, but come up short. But him and his brother Nick Jackson beat the Jurassic Express, which are Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, a couple weeks ago, and won the AEW Tag Team titles for the second time and everything. And then Matt Jackson was also issued a challenge to Swerve in Our Glory and Team Taz in a 3-way tag team match for the AEW Tag Team titles next week on AEW Dynamite's special event Fyter Fest and everything. That was cool. That was after the match, by the way. Match 3, it was Rush versus Penta Oscuro. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Rush went over with a small package. Match 4, it was the Gun Club, which are Colton and Austin Gunn, and the Acclaimed, which are Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, versus Fuego del Sol, Leon Ruffin, and Bear Country, which are Bear Bronson and Bear Boulder. That was a great match, but the ending to it, the Gun Club and the Acclaimed went over because Austin Gunn pinned Bear Bronson with the mic drop from Max Caster. Now, before the match, as Fuego del Sol, Leon Ruffin, and Bear Country, which are Bear Bronson and Bear Boulder, were already in the ring, the Gun Club, which are Billy, Austin, and Colton Gunn, and the Acclaimed, which are Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, came out, and Max Caster was getting ready to do a rap on Bear Country, Fuego del Sol, and Leon Ruffin, but before Max Caster could get his rap in, Austin Gunn took the microphone away from Max Caster and everything. That was cool. That was before the match, by the way. And after the match, dissension happened between the Gunn Club, which are Colton and Austin Gunn, and the Acclaimed, which are Max Caster and Anthony Bowens. And so the Gunn Club and the Acclaimed ended up beating the shit out of each other, with the Gunn Club having the upper hand. And as Colton and Austin Gunn were beating the shit out of Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, Billy Gunn came into the ring and pulled Colton and Austin Gunn off of Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, and Billy Gunn was yelling at his sons Colton and Austin Gunn, telling them to cut it out. And then next thing you know, Billy Gunn turned around and executed a clothesline to Max Caster and laid him out, and then Billy Gunn executed the Famouser to Anthony Bowens and laid him out. And as the Acclaimed, which are Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, were laid out, the Gunn Club, which are Billy, Austin, and Colton Gunn, stood tall and everything. That was cool. That was after the match, by the way. And that was match 4, by the way. Match 5, it was Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm versus Nyla Rose and Marina Shafir. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm went over because Thunder Rosa pinned Marina Shafir with a Fire Thunder Driver, Diving Pile Driver combination from Thunder Rosa and Toni Storm. That was match 5, by the way. And match 6, which was the main event, it was Jon Moxley versus Brody King for the interim AEW title. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Jon Moxley went over and retained the interim AEW title with the Bulldog choke. That was match 6 in the main event, by the way. Now, besides the matches, Jon Moxley cut a promo talking about how he beat up a man that he respects, who is Hiroshi Tanahashi at Forbidden Door, and talked about how he was in blood and guts on Dynamite 3 nights later and beat the shit out of the Jericho Appreciation Society for fun and everything. And then Jon Moxley was talking about how Brody King was a monster and how he's a monster himself, and how Brody King doesn't have the heart of a monster like Jon Moxley himself does. And Jon Moxley was talking about how he was going to beat Brody King's ass and retain the interim AEW title and everything. That was cool. Mark Sterling and... wait a minute. Tony Nese and Mark Sterling were talking about... Well, Tony Nese and Mark Sterling appeared, and Mark Sterling was talking about getting a petition started to remove Swerve Strickland from AEW. Well, Tony Nese and Mark Sterling went to confront Keith Lee, and Mark Sterling was talking to Keith Lee, and Mark Sterling was saying, "Mr. Lee, I just want to let you know I'm starting a petition to get Swerve Strickland removed from AEW because he's nothing but a backstabber. He's nothing but a snake. And he backstabbed you by eliminating you from the Casino Battle Royal. So how about you sign this petition right now?" Keith Lee said, "Greetings, Mr. Sterling, Mr. Nese. Now I'm going to tell you right now, Mr. Sterling, Swerve Strickland may have backstabbed me in the Casino Battle Royal and eliminated me. And Swerve Strickland and I may have trust issues and everything. but we're still a team and we are still winning. So I'm going to have to pass. And Keith Lee left, and Tony Nese and Mark Sterling were looking on and everything. That was cool. Christian Cage and Luchasaurus came out and to the ring. Yep, Christian Cage and Luchasaurus came out to the ring. Christian Cage got on the microphone and was talking about how he's been getting questioned about him turning his back on Jungle Boy and how he feels about Jungle Boy and his family and everything, and talking about how the people want to know why Luchasaurus is now siding in with Christian Cage and everything. And before Christian Cage could talk, Matt Hardy came out with a microphone, and Matt Hardy was talking about how Christian Cage turned his back on Jungle Boy and how he should be ashamed of himself, and how Jungle Boy is one of his good friends and everything, and talked about how Jungle Boy trusted Christian Cage and believed in him and everything. And then as Matt Hardy was going into the ring, Christian Cage was talking shit towards Matt Hardy, talking about how he has a massive ego and how all of a sudden he now wants to be friends with Jungle Boy and everything. And then talked about how his brother Jeff Hardy was the sober one of the two and everything. And then Matt Hardy was going on about how Christian Cage is using Luchasaurus because Matt Hardy was saying he done the same thing with Private Party, which are Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy and the Butcher and the Blade, and how he regrets it and everything, and talked about how his life has been a mess for the past month and everything, and talked about how it was karma that was coming back to him and everything. And then Matt Hardy continued to talk more shit towards Christian Cage, and then Christian Cage went as low as talking about Matt Hardy's family and talking shit about him and everything, and then talking shit about Matt Hardy and everything. And then a fight between Matt Hardy and Christian Cage was getting ready to break out, but Luchasaurus attacked Matt Hardy with a headbutt, and then Matt Hardy went out of the ring, and then Luchasaurus grabbed Matt Hardy and threw him into the steel steps, and then Matt Hardy was fighting back a little bit, but Luchasaurus got the upper hand again. Luchasaurus backed Matt Hardy up against the ring post, and then Luchasaurus attacked Matt Hardy with a pump kick into the ring post, and then Christian Cage barked orders at Luchasaurus to chokeslam Matt Hardy through a table. So Luchasaurus executed the chokeslam to Matt Hardy through a table outside the ring, and Luchasaurus stood tall while Christian Cage sat in the chair and was talking shit towards Matt Hardy and everything. And then Christian Cage and Luchasaurus stood tall and went backstage while Matt Hardy was still laying out and everything. That was cool. AEW aired a vignette of William Regal, Claudio Castagnoli, Ortiz, Matt Menard, and Angelo Parker talking about the match between Eddie Kingston, Proud and Powerful, which are Santana and Ortiz, and the Blackpool Combat Club, which are Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta, versus the Jericho Appreciation Society, which are Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, Sammy Guevara, Daniel Garcia, Matt Menard, and Angelo Parker in the Blood and Guts match last week on Dynamite and everything. That was cool. Tony Schiavone interviewed Jake Hager and Claudio Castagnoli. Well, Tony Schiavone brought up that there's a waiver of no physicality right now between Jake Hager and Claudio Castagnoli, and Jake Hager was saying, yeah, Tony, there is a no physicality rule at the moment. Because next week, I am going one-on-one against Claudio Castagnoli. And I'm going to tell you one thing right now, Claudio. I am an undefeated MMA fighter. And you have never won the Ring of Honor Championship, the WWE Championship, nor are you going to win the AEW Championship because you're a loser and you're a failure. And next week, I'm going to beat your ass. Then Claudio Castagnoli was saying, Jake, next week, you're on. But I will say this. I am 2-0 since I've been in AEW. I beat Zack Sabre Jr. in my debut. And I beat you and your cronies. Well, Eddie Kingston, Santana, Ortiz, and the Blackpool Combat Club, me along with John Moxley and Wheeler Yuta, beat your cronies in the Blood and Guts match. And next week, I'm going to go 3-0 because I'm going to kick your ass next week and everything. Just cool. Malachi Black cut a promo talking about how he envies John Moxley because tonight John Moxley's defending the interim AEW title against Brody King and everything. And Malachi Black was talking about how John Moxley signed his death warrant because once Brody King's done with him, he's not going to be no more. And talked about how Brody King was going to destroy John Moxley and win the interim AEW title and everything. And then after Malachi Black talked, Brody King appeared and everything. That was cool. Tony Schiavone interviewed Eddie Kingston, and Tony Schiavone brought up that last week Eddie Kingston, Santana, Ortiz, and the Blackpool Combat Club picked up the victory in the Blood and Guts match and everything. And then Eddie Kingston was saying, first of all, Schiavone, before I get into anything, Wardlow, congratulations, brother. Second of all, Claudio, Mox, Wheeler, Santana, Ortiz, I just want to congratulate you all, along with me, beating the asses off of the Jericho Appreciation Society in Blood and Guts. Now, last but not least, Chris Jericho, I did say I will taste your blood at Blood and Guts. But I lied, because I didn't get to taste your blood. Well, Eddie Kingston was talking more shit towards Chris Jericho. Well, then Chris Jericho appeared on the Titantron and said, Kingston, you want to see how crazy I am? Then the camera angle went over, and it was and as the camera angle went over, Ty Conti was beating the shit out of Ruby Soho, and Chris Jericho was saying, get her, Conti. And as Ty Conti was beating the shit out of Ruby Soho, Ty Conti placed Ruby Soho's arm in the Escalade, and Ty Conti kicked the door of the Escalade onto Ruby Soho's arm, and Ruby Soho went down on the ground, and then the Jericho Appreciation Society, which are Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, Sammy Guevara, Daniel Garcia, Matt Menard, Angelo Parker, and Ty Conti, were standing tall, and Chris Jericho was saying, Eddie Kingston, this is what you get when you mess with the Jericho Appreciation Society. Now let's go. And everything. And so the Jericho Appreciation Society left while Ruby Soho was rising in pain, and the athletic trainers were checking on Ruby Soho and everything. That was cool. The Dark Order, which are Evil Uno, John Silver, Alex Reynolds, 10, Anna Jay, and -1 came out to the ring. Well, John Silver got on the microphone and was saying, Rochester, New York is Dark Order country and everything. And then Evil Uno got on the microphone and was saying, Rochester, this is Dark Order country. But I'm here to say right now, the Dark Order is not going anywhere because the Dark Order is here to stay. Now, I would go on, but I'm going to let someone else do the talking. So Evil Uno handed the microphone to -1, and before -1 could talk, QT Marshall came out and said, whoa. Well, QT Marshall came out with a microphone and said, whoa. How many charity cases are you all going to do for this kid? Because really, we're all getting sick of it. Now, -1, your father, the late great Brody Lee, was a legend here in AEW, and you're nothing like your father. Also, boys, I'm not bringing my friends out here, so why don't you all go backstage while -1 and I fight one-on-one. And then QT Marshall kept going on and said, -1, like I said, you are nothing like your father, the late great Brody Lee. You are more like your mother, Amanda Huber. So -1, why don't you get your little ass out of here and go rip your dolls' heads off? Well, -1, as QT Marshall was talking more shit, -1 was trying to charge at QT Marshall, but Evil Uno was holding -1 back and everything, and QT Marshall continued to talk more shit, and as that was going on, Hangman Page came out. QT Marshall got distracted by Hangman Page. Well, Evil Uno punched QT Marshall in the face, then Hangman Page punched QT Marshall in the face, then Evil Uno threw QT Marshall out of the ring and back into the ring, and so John Silver attacked QT Marshall with a kick in the face, and then John Silver threw QT Marshall into Alex Reynolds. Alex Reynolds did an elbow strike. John Silver did an elbow strike. They did a couple more. Then Alex Reynolds executed a stunner. Alex Reynolds executed the stunner to QT Marshall. John Silver executed the German suplex on QT Marshall. And then 10 executed the discus clothesline to QT Marshall, and QT Marshall was laid out, and then Evil Uno handed the microphone to -1, and -1 said, -1 said, QT, I would go in there and pin you 1, 2, 3 right now, but I'm going to wait till I turn 19. And so, after that, Hangman Page and the Dark Order, which are Evil Uno, John Silver, Alex Reynolds, 10, Anna Jay, and -1, stood tall and celebrated and everything. That was cool. Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, and Satnam Singh cut a promo. Well, Sanjay Dutt was saying, well, it's about time that Samoa Joe gets out of his hole and puts the Ring of Honor television title on the line against my best friend in the whole wide world, Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal, Jay Lethal was saying, Joe, thank you for accepting my offer. And I'm not doubting you, Joe, because you're one tough competitor. Because I've been in the ring with you a million times. And you're tough. But you'll never be better than me because I am going to beat you and I'm going to win the Ring of Honor television title at Ring of Honor's Supercard of Honor. Then Satnam Singh was saying, next world champion right here and everything. That was cool. Tony Nese and Mark Sterling confronted Orange Cassidy and the Best Friends, which are Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor, and Mark Sterling brought up to Orange Cassidy saying, Orange Cassidy, just the man I was looking for. You see, I got a petition started in getting Swerve Strickland removed from AEW. So, Orange Cassidy, Swerve Strickland backstabbed you by eliminating you from the Royal Rampage match. So how about you sign off on this petition? Then Orange Cassidy was saying, you know, Sterling, I don't work like that. And Mark Sterling said, okay, fine. How about this? How about you have a match against Tony Nese on Rampage? And if Tony Nese wins, you sign off on my petition to have Swerve Strickland removed from AEW. Orange Cassidy said, I'll have to take that up with my lawyer. Well, then Dan Housen appeared as Orange Cassidy's lawyer, and Dan Housen was saying, you know, Mark Sterling, I got the documents right here, and I am overruling you. Because Orange Cassidy is not going to sign off on your petition. And then Orange Cassidy said, well, Mark Sterling got pissed off and was talking shit, and then Orange Cassidy was saying, as long as my lawyer approves, the match is on. Then Dan Housen said, well, Orange Cassidy, I approve. So Mark Sterling, you got your match. If Tony Nese wins, then Orange Cassidy will sign your petition. And Orange Cassidy was saying, yeah, what my lawyer Dan Housen just said. If Tony Nese wins, I will sign the petition. And everything. And then Mark Sterling and Mark Sterling and Tony Nese left while Orange Cassidy, Dan Housen, and the Best Friends, which are Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor, were looking on and everything. That was cool. Miro cut a promo talking about how he hates Malachi Black and how he beats people up and how he beats people up from heaven while Malachi Black beats people up from hell. And Miro was talking about how Malachi Black screwed him out of winning the AEW All-Atlantic title and everything. And then Miro was talking about how he was coming after the House of Black and he was going to tear him from, and how he was going to tear the House of Black up from limb to limb and everything. That was cool. Tony Schiavone interviewed Stokely. Wait a minute. Tony Schiavone. Yeah, wait a minute. Tony Schiavone interviewed Stokely Hathaway and the baddies, which are Jade Cargill and Kiera Hogan, and Tony Schiavone was getting ready to talk, but Jade Cargill said, "Tony, cut the shit." Then Jade Cargill was saying, "Stokely, what the hell was that last week?" Stokely Hathaway said, "Jade, honey, last week I made an offer to Layla Gray because since we're in AEW and AEW can have interim champions, I thought, well, since Red Velvet is out right now, how about we have an interim baddie? And allow me to introduce to you our interim baddie, Miss Layla Gray." And then Stokely Hathaway was saying, "And you know what, Jade?" Well, Layla Gray appeared, and Stokely Hathaway said, "You know what, Jade? It cost me $11,000 to get Layla Gray in with the baddies as an interim baddie." Then Jade Cargill was saying, "Well, Stokely, if she does not prove that she's a baddie and she fails every single week, month, year, whatever, it's all on your ass." Then Jade Cargill and Kiera Hogan left, and then Stokely Hathaway was saying to Layla Gray, "Layla girl, let's talk." And then Layla Gray wouldn't cooperate, and Stokely Hathaway said, "All right, well, I'll go now." So Stokely Hathaway left, and Layla Gray and after Stokely Hathaway left, Tony Schiavone and Layla Gray were looking on and everything. That was cool. Tony Schiavone interviewed Daniel Garcia, and Tony Schiavone brought up that Daniel Garcia requested this time to talk and everything, and then Daniel Garcia was saying, yeah, Tony, I requested this time to talk. And what I'm going to talk about is Wheeler Yuta. Yuta, last week on AEW Dark, I beat your ass, and I had my foot right on your chest, holding your Ring of Honor Pure World title up. You can call me a professional wrestler or sports entertainer, I don't care. Because at Ring of Honor, Death Before Dishonor, I am going to beat your ass, and I am going to win the Ring of Honor Pure World title. And everything. That was cool. And FTR, which are Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, cut a promo. Well, Cash Wheeler was saying, you know, Dax and I, we're 7 stars FTR. And we are the greatest professional wrestlers in the world. But many have considered us not the greatest professional wrestlers in the world, and we take offense to that. And since Ring of Honor's Death Before Dishonor is heading our way, we have nobody to challenge us for the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles and everything. And then Dax Harwood was saying, yeah, like Cash said, we take offense to those who don't consider us the greatest professional wrestlers of all time, because we are. But I'm going to tell you right now, at Ring of Honor's Death Before Dishonor, Cash and I, we want a rematch against the Briscoes. So how about it, Briscoe boys? FTR and the Briscoes too for the Ring of Honor Tag Team titles at Death Before Dishonor. Top guys out and everything. Just cool. Now, besides all that, Taz and Excalibur done commentary throughout the whole show. They done awesome as usual. Tony Schiavone done commentary along with Taz and Excalibur from the beginning of the show till the middle of the show. Tony Schiavone done awesome as usual. Jim Ross done commentary along with Taz and Excalibur from the middle of the show till the end of the show. Jim Ross done awesome as usual. And William Regal done guest commentary along with Jim Ross, Taz, and Excalibur during the match between Jon Moxley versus Brody King for the interim AEW title. William Regal done awesome on guest commentary. The referees for the event were Rick Knox, Paul Turner, Bryce Remsburg, Stephon Smith, and Aubrey Edwards. Okay. Bryce Remsburg refereed the match between Wardlow versus Scorpio Sky in a street fight for the AEW TNT title. Stephon Smith refereed the match between Swerve and Our Glory versus The Butcher and the Blade. Bryce Remsburg refereed the match between Roosh versus Pena Oscuro. Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between the Gun Club and the Acclaimed versus Bear Country, Fuego del Sol, and Leon Ruffin. Rick Knox refereed the match between Thunder Rosa and Tony Storm versus Nyla Rose and Marina Shafir. And Paul Turner refereed the match between Jon Moxley versus Brody King for the interim AEW title. All the referees done awesome as usual. Now, the match card that's been announced for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite's special event Fyter Fest next week that's been announced so far, it's going to be the Young Bucks, which are Matt and Nick Jackson, versus Team Taz, which are Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs, versus Swerve and Our Glory, which are Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland, in a three-way tag team match for the AEW tag team titles, and Jake Hager versus Claudio Castagnoli. Those are the matches that have been announced so far. So the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite's special event Fyter Fest next week looks like it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see it, and I'm looking forward to it. And the match card that's been announced for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage Friday night, it's going to be Eddie Kingston versus Konosuke Takeshita, Orange Cassidy versus Tony Nese, Jonathan Gresham and Lee Moriarty versus Gates of Agony, which are Toa Leona and Khan, and Serena Deeb and Mercedes Martinez versus two local competitors. So the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage Friday night looks like it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see it. I'm looking forward to it. But anyway, I just wanted to come on here for a while and give them a review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite from tonight, which is July 6th, 2022. Like I said, it was awesome from start to finish. And with that being said, my name is Austin Honecker, and I will catch your ass down the road. Peace out.